It's happening now. Wait, hold on. Record. Yep. Test. 1, 2, 3. Yep. All right, we're good. It starts in 3, 2, 1.
Another visitor. Stay a while. Stay forever.
This is the Boop Show, episode 217. It's July 16th, and it's 2019. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the show. This is the Boop Show. I'm Scott Johnson with Brian Dunaway. What are you doing, Brian Dunaway, over there, Bob?
Oh, hi, Scott.
How are you? Oh, that good, eh? What happened to your headphones?
Well, I'll tell you this right now. What's happening is that weird thing right before the show started where it was like you were cutting out every couple of seconds.
Yeah.
It's happening again.
I
don't know what's going on.
Did you change your settings on your stuff?
It's doing it right now. I haven't touched anything. We're doing the exact same stuff. I didn't do anything different.
Talking to you out loud. Maybe it's my music. Let me turn off my music. Is it the same now? Is it worse? Am I still talking?
Yeah, I can hear you completely now.
Okay.
But it was killing the music too.
I don't know. I have no idea. We got something.
And now it's fine.
You got something funky on there, over there. Hey, you know what I can do?
It's my fault.
Yeah, I'm going to blame it on you. I'm going to move us to the East Coast.
There it goes again. Yeah. There it goes again.
Oh, what? It's doing it now? Is it doing it now?
Yeah, it did it again. What was you touching?
I changed this to East Coast. East Coast.
Oh, that might be why.
Because that's where you are. See.
That's sometimes weird with Discord. By the way, I didn't get to do my dance.
Oh, do it. Oh my gosh, look. Wait, here we give me the music.
There we go.
That looked really good. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the show. It is time for us to talk about video games. Yes, what? What's going on?
I'm going to switch headphones because I suspect...
Oh, it's still happening, is it?
Maybe I have a headphone problem. So
All right, I'm going to pause the show. All right, we're pausing. Pausing for effect? We're pausing for effect. Not to worry. This is how this goes. People watching the video version or the live version, you get to see the underbelly of what it takes to...
Ew, gross.
Produce a... Oh, hello.
Gross underbelly.
Is it better? Right. Is it better?
I don't know. Let's try it because it's been doing it like off and on. It'll be like fine, and then all of a sudden it'll freak out. So let's try this for a second.
Are you on your headset mic or on the other thing?
I'm on my headset mic.
Oh, well, why do you have a mic in front of you?
Because now, the reason why I have a mic in front of me... Yeah. No, I'm sorry. Are you hearing me through my headset mic? Is that what's going on?
I don't know. Tap it.
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I'm hearing you through the normal one then.
Oh, I thought you meant why do I have my headset mic pulled out?
Right.
Because I need my side tone to be able to hear myself, and I was actually plugged into my mixer before, but now I'm plugged directly into the dongle now, just in case it's my headphones.
Oh, all right. Well, so far, we're okay.
That way, we can eliminate that idea.
All right. Well, that's great. We're back.
Oh, you know what's fun besides technical shooting with your gaming gear?
What's that?
Talking about video games.
Holy shit! You're right. You know what? I'd forgotten completely. It's video games. That's what we're here to talk about, and we're going to do it right freaking now. Wait, I had a sound effect for this. What happened to it? Oh, it's not there, dude. It's not there.
Hey, but this is all game related because I am using my Logitech G933s, which, by the way, the built-in mic sounds like. Can I say ass?
You can say ass. Yeah, we're
okay. I'm going to say ass because it sounds like ass. I even got in touch with the Logitech people, and even started a support ticket. And before I even finished talking to them, I started doing some reading and research, like going to YouTube and listening to everybody recording themselves with this mic.
Yeah.
And theirs all sound like mine, except they're okay with it. They're like, yeah, it sounds fine. I'm like, no, it doesn't. It sounds like a can. And I'm like, no, it sounds like crap. So apparently it's not a technical problem as much as it's just a preference problem, maybe, because I don't like how it sounds.
I think you sound good. I mean,
I'm on this mic. Here, let me show you. Let me show you the difference, Scott. So when you're gaming with your buddies, so you're on Discord, you're gaming with your buddies, and using your good mic. This is my MXL. It's okay. Then I say, you know what? I'm going to switch to my Logitech wireless gaming mic like this.
Okay, that sounds like ass.
So this is the ass talk. You see what I mean? This is ass talk.
Yeah.
I don't like the ass talk. It's terrible. And wait a second. There's actually there's a lavalier mic that's on the no, wait a minute, that might not be the right one. How about this? How does that sound?
Oh, worse. That's even worse.
See, okay, so this is the assiest ass setting.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
That's the one that comes through here and is actually wireless.
Okay.
And then there's one that runs through the wired mic, which is this one, and it's kind of a lavalier mic. And you're probably thinking, wow, that sounds better in comparison to the two turds.
Yeah.
But it's just the nature of the game, and I can't believe that it sucks so bad. So I'm going to switch back.
There you go. So you guys hear that? That sounds like you just walked in the room.
Yeah, that's so much better. So if you're gaming, I don't like to bash Logitech because I love my Logitech stuff.
I do too,
but
generally.
Apparently, my expectations of what the wireless mic should sound like is
it's just too high.
It's just too high, I think. Now I've heard some wireless mics that sound really good, but they're usually separate and they're their own price. These are like $79-$80, and the wireless mic by itself that's a better quality than this. It's not Logitech, is like $100. So I guess you kind of get what you pay for there. So
well, it's funny you bring up Logitech. This is not really an ad for them, but I did pick up a new mouse, a Logitech mouse, and I really like it. And it was cheap. It was only it's kind of the low end of their gaming mice, but also I'm kind of sick of mice that look like Transformers, and I have too many buttons. I'm kind of sick of them. So there's no way. Now I'm not. Maybe this doesn't fit me. I'm with you. I can't do the 8-button thumb mice thing they have on those things. So what's the point of it being there other than me accidentally hitting it with my thumb? Right. Saying bad things. That's what this is. And as you can see, the colors are rotating. Oh, that's green, so it's green screening. I mean, there's blue now. Yeah. So it's got some of that. RGB stuff. It's got some of that stuff, but the actual mouse is super like old school, like not ergonomically nightmarish. Just a nice, simple mouse shape. Great tracking, great button control, great trackpad or track wheel. I got two of them. Right. I liked it so much. They were only $30. Prime Day, right? I saw that, I believe. No, I got it before Prime Day. It's probably on sale, and I didn't want to know about it, or I'll be mad. No, the Prime Day deal wasn't that great. If you look around, you'll see that Prime Day this year was not the prime of the deals in the past. So it's not bad. So I want to get a new Logitech gaming mouse, too, because right now I'm just using Mr. Mighty Mouse 2, or whatever these things are for the Mac. So... But what are they called? Magic Mouse. Magic Meese. Yeah. Magic Touchpad. I'm always accidentally zooming in Magic They're mice. The worst for games. They're the worst. They're the worst. They're a cool mouse for just like I got to work on a computer today and write some things and click around the web. Not a problem. Great wireless mouse, precision, well made, all that. But that whole surface is a touchpad. Right. And if you're trying to play a video game when your entire surface of your mouse is a touchpad, it makes you want to punch a guy in the testicle. Yes. I don't like it. It's not fun. I don't like it. It's not fun. All right. For reals now, I do have the But that was fun. I enjoyed a little sidetrack. It actually went well, I think. It was a good time. Now there's this. Yeah. Time to talk about actual raw ass video games. P.S. By the way, if you're listening to this with audio only, might I recommend that you go to twitch.tv frogpants when we do this live, because Scott has some amazing overlays that look like arcade machines from Robotron 2084. Yeah, their heads are stuck in. Yeah, we're in the. Whoops, I'm almost covering you up. We're in the arcade machines now. So yeah, we do a lot visually. Of all the shows I do, we do more visually here than almost anything else because of the kind of stuff we cover. So if you haven't been watching the show live, this might be a time to check that out. But as you can see on your screen, I am showing a beautiful vista of stuff, and then a bunch of go-karts just slammed through it and made it messy. Why that would looks a lot like an old video game for the PlayStation 1, except this looks like it's made on modern hardware, and that game is called Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. Okay. I've been wanting to get this. So, do you remember PS1's attempt at Mario Kart? It was called Crash Team Racing. Of course. Yeah. Loved it. CTR. Crash Bandicoot and all his buddies. And I say I loved it is what I say, the words that come out of my mouth, but when I really say it, I realize I didn't love it. I liked the idea of it, and I never did play it for very long. Oh, that's interesting. I liked it a lot. I thought it was a really good alternative. Yeah. And obviously it was aiming to be sort of the, here's the edgy kart racer with funny characters, and it's a little more, I don't know. I guess edgy is the right word. It was
edgy is absolutely what Sega and Sonic was all about. If you don't know about what Sega was about, that was it. They were trying to be the hip, cool guys. Yeah. But Nintendo obviously was not.
Except this was Sony, not Sega. But I take your point.
You're right. It is Sony, isn't it? Yeah. It's not Sega Crash Team Crash Bandicoot. You're right. It is Sony.
It is Sony. You're thinking of Sonic Racing, whatever it is, but that's more recent anyway. Anyway,
you're right.
But you're right about the general idea is the same. Like they're trying to compete with this, what's the word? Sort of milquetoast approach of Nintendo by being a little harder edged. And so that's what this is. Now, the original game was great. I loved it. I thought it was really well made and was a good alternative to the Mario Karts of the world. And at the time, there was no Mario Kart. Oh, there may have been. Mario Kart 64 may have been out when this hit. I don't know the dates.
Right.
But they've remade it. It's completely remastered, graphically all redone. It's not just up-resed and textured or whatever. It's like a whole new coat of paint on this old game.
Right. On this week on this old game.
This old game starring us.
Bob Vila is gonna update your junk.
Oh my gosh, I haven't heard the name Bob Vila in about 20 years. Nice job.
Right.
I like that a lot. What happened to that guy? What's he doing? What's he up to?
Nothing? He's living on his this old house money.
Maybe he's dead. Might be dead.
I don't know. Don't say that. That's scary.
Is it scary to say he's dead?
Yeah, don't say that. Right, because if he's dead, then
what are we?
What are we? Just a step away from death's door is what we are.
That's right. So this game features an overworld map, which is like an island. It's all very themed, like voodoo masks and the Crash Bandicoot kind of vibe. And you're on this island, and in your little cart, you drive around to the various track entrances. They're like little teleporters, and you unlock more of them as you go along. And as you go into that teleporter, it takes you to your first race. And I only have one complaint at this stage. It features some of the worst load times I've ever experienced in my life. Now, it's not so bad on PlayStation, which is so this thing is on, I should mention, is on multiple platforms. It's on PlayStation, it's on Xbox One, and it's on the Switch. I got the Switch version. This is no longer a Sony only property. This Bandicoot stuff's like I don't know who owns it now, but originally it was Naughty Dog. They did it for Sony. I don't know who owns it now, but this is a multi-platform game.
Do you feel dirty playing the straight up Mario Kart rip-off clone on a Switch? You feel
a little
dirty?
A little. So, and that's interesting you brought that up, because I decided to do that very thing here. I decided to play this and then jump back into Mario Kart and just compare the two.
Right. 7. Right?
Mario Kart. No, is it 8 now?
12.
Whatever. It's 8, I think.
Yeah, it's 8.
Mario Kart 8. And by the way, that is a fantastic game that I played the living hell out of when it hit the Switch, and even on the Wii U I played a bunch. But anyway, this game is still kind of trying to be the edgy cousin, and I think it does a pretty good job of it. I think this is actually a really good racer. It does, you're obviously playing this thing where it's like, oh, I'm a little big-headed dude in a cart, and I'm getting power-ups, and they're laid around the map, and then when I get the power-up, I can fire it and hit a dude and slow them down or whatever. Like, you're playing, there's no question the lineage here, right? You're playing something that only exists in a post-Mario Kart world. But I keep saying the core gameplay. Let me think of a different word. The underlying mechanical nature of the game is strong enough, I think it stands on its own. It doesn't feel like you're playing Mario Kart. It feels like you're playing some other racing game with some similar functionality, I guess, or themes.
So the second most important part of any of these kart games, the first part is, of course, how the kart handles, and how you have the catch-up mechanic. But the important part is also the tracks. How are the track designs? Are they challenging, or is it just straight boring?
Well, they're challenging and they're creative. I would say they're on par with Nintendo stuff. I think that's fair to say. I watch these. I'm watching the PlayStation version right now, which we're showing the chat at home. And while these are still kind of egregious load times, they're not nearly as bad as the Switch version. And I don't know what the deal is there. Mario Kart is peppy. It loads great, fast. You're into the next thing. You're not waiting for a lot of stuff. So I don't know what the problem here is. Maybe they can optimize it and patch it. They've already patched it once, so maybe we'll get more of that. But it's cool. Now, here's the problem. If there's a problem, it's this. If you've been playing a lot of Mario Kart, or you are playing it now, and you switch over to this to play, you're going to be annoyed because the control scheme is different. They've decided, they decided that it's different, and they don't actually let you map it. Well, I haven't dug into the options as hard as I could, so don't take this as a grain of salt at this point, because I maybe need to try more. But I couldn't find a way to map it just like Mario Kart controls on the same controller. If I could, I think I'd prefer that, because there's just some muscle memory. It's kind of like, post Call of Duty games. If you make a shooter for a controller, if you don't match the Call of Duty control scheme, you're sort of lame. Right. Like you're kind of blowing it, because you're just going to make players frustrated, because the standard's been set. And first-person shooters on a keyboard, for example, and nobody goes, all right, well, it's been WASD and the mouse forever. Guess what? We're going to make it so it's TYUG. Like, nobody's going to throw that wrench in your chain and screw you up so bad. And they shouldn't here. And I'm kind of bugged that they didn't try to at least map it that way, or give me the option to switch over to something that was more like it. Now, again, I haven't combed through those options the way maybe I should to see if there is a way, but it seems like there's like 2 presets, and neither of them completely match the Mario control scheme. All that being said, I think this is a cool kart racer, and as an alternative to Mario, an alternative to Sonic Team Racing, which is also very good.
Right.
It's good. It's you kind of need to. I think you kind of need to be in on that genre to accept more alternatives to just the Mario variety. But that's what I did, and I like it. I like it a lot, and I got a really good deal on it because I had some credit on Amazon, and so I only spent I think $6 on this thing, and it's actually not that expensive in general. And it seemed like a good Switch purchase. So no PC version. I probably would have popped for that if it existed. I just tend to play these kinds of games on PCs more, even racing games.
It makes more sense. I mean, unless you're planning on busting out your controller on your PC, which you do, of course. But I'm with you. Kart games to me flourish on the console. It just makes more sense, and the arcade.
Yeah, and there's more couch versus type stuff and co-op and that sort of thing. This, of course, lets you pull the Joy-Cons off if you want, and each of you can take its stick and play on the same screen. So there's all that Switch stuff, and it looks really good. The Switch version looks great. I wouldn't say there's any visual advantage to the other versions, except I'm sure on a 4K TV like a PS4 Pro or an Xbox One X is gonna probably push this thing better, make it look better. I don't know, but it's cool, and I think worth it. It's Crash Team Racing and Nitro Fueled. Oh, I should mention, gameplay wise, there's the old campaign is in there that existed in the first game. They just remastered it all. Or you can do this alternate Nitro Fueled mode, which is more like, I don't know, it's weirdly like an RPG unlock system. So it's just a different way of playing through the campaign, and you can do those things separately and just play them both. But really, it's the same content. You're just trying to win races and unlock cars and parts and tires and characters and all that stuff. And if Crash Bandicoot's your jam.
And he is, because he's such a freak with those googly eyes, and I'm Crash Bandicoot, and I got the sense that God gave us whatever I am. I love Crash Bandicoot. So how much was this thing on the Switch?
He's a bandicoot, by the way. He's just so you know what he is. Yeah,
Bandicoot. Am I a squirrel? Oh,
he's price. I paid $6 again because I had credit.
Oh my gosh!
But I think the game is Crash Team Racing. Hold on, I'm going to tell you. I got it on Amazon, so I got a cartridge. It's the only thing I buy physical media for is this damn Switch.
You got a cartridge? Wait, you got a physical cartridge?
Because this stuff's cheap on there, man.
It didn't even register with my brain when you said you got it with a cartridge. I'm like, cartridge? What are you talking about? Cartridge? You can't use that. Oh, that's right. These Switches do take cartridges. I don't even think I have even a single cartridge other than the one that came with the Switch, which was I think Snipper Clips or something like that.
Wait, that came with the Switch? That didn't come with the Switch.
Maybe not. I can't remember. That's the only one I remember that I have. Or maybe we bought it at the same time. That was about the end of the cart.
The reason I keep getting them on cartridge, and I have a whole thing of these over here. I'll show you right here in this case. Oh, geez. I just dropped a bunch of stuff. Is because I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of my games are cartridges. And it's because I get deals on the, on Amazon more than you don't. Like digital, they never have digital deals ever. It's never good. So if I'm going to save $10, I may as well get the cartridge. Who cares?
And there's no online component, right?
There is. You can play online. You can do battle mode. You can do race mode. You can do all that stuff. Basically the features of Mario Kart Online are all here.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. So there is that. And I should mention, I got into some games, no problem. Just popped right in. There were plenty of people. We raced. I won. Lost a couple. Won a couple. Still getting used to the control scheme because, again, it threw me off. Oh, then the part I alluded to earlier, I flipped over to Mario again.
Right.
That it just remains like the king of the hill. Like there's no way your kart racer is ever quite up to snuff with Super Mario Kart. It's just not going to happen. So It's okay. Accept it for what it is. Know that this, somewhat lesser but still kind of cool in its own way kart racer exists. If you have the original PlayStation 1 version, guess what you can get for it now? Guess what they're worth?
What can you get from the original?
$150 those are worth.
Good Lord, that's a lot of moolah for an old scratched up disc.
Yes, it's old, but remember those black discs, the CD
side? Oh, yeah,
I
love the black discs. Those were fantastic. It was
pretty cool.
And you couldn't see the scratches as much either on the black disc. I loved it, and I also hated it. Now, so this is how it goes for me, I think. And I'm just throwing this off the top of my head. I haven't done a lot of thought about it, but I think it is Mario Kart, top of the heap. I think CTR is second. And then I always love the Nicktoons racing games as well, just because I love playing Nickelodeon characters. Not that the gameplay is as much fun as those other two. And then right below that is a disappointment that they never continued the South Park kart racing games.
Right. I forgot that was really even a thing. There. I forgot. Yeah. That really exists. I didn't just imagine that existed.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. It had quirks about it that made it kind of stand out, and I really wish they had fully developed it. But it was a little bit underdeveloped.
I don't remember it very much, but I kind of remember the Nickelodeon one, and I remember thinking it was okay.
That's how it is.
So maybe this will start a whole trend of remasters for these things. I don't know, but. Right. I mean, obviously, Mario's the king for a reason, and they kind of invented the subgenre, and now everybody else has their thing. But anyway, it was $29.99, and I got it for, like I said, $6. That's what I paid.
$29.99. There's a free local pickup on eBay for $3.99, but it says it's the offline edition, and I'm like, what does that mean?
Hey, look at this! If you buy the original Crash Team Racing, the original Crash Bandicoot, and the original Crash 2. All on PlayStation 1, you can have all three of those games in disc form for a low price of $288.
Well, I guess I'm going to put that new Switch Mini. What's it called? What's the new Switch called?
Switch Lite. Switch Lite.
Switch Lite. Yeah, guys, I'm not going to get one of those. I'm getting that instead.
I want a Switch Lite.
I do want a Switch Lite, which is totally stupid. It makes absolutely zero sense. The only difference really is a lower price point. And you can't dock it.
Longer battery life. You do
longer battery life. True story.
And you get, it's thinner.
Yes, but how much thinner?
A little, not a lot. And supposedly the sticks are made of better grade.
Supposedly. So no drifting.
Yeah, it's supposed to be less drifting over time, that stuff. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably going to get one, but I'm going to do it I'm doing it for science, guys.
Yeah, you have to do it for science.
Doing it for the show. And shows like it. Brian, tell me about your first game, which is A Plague Tale: Innocence.
A Plague Tale: Innocence. Brian's first true pick of Game of the Year for 2019.
Shut up.
That's right. I love the crap of this game. If you watched any of my Twitch feed this week, I played about 8 hours worth of Plague Tale Innocence. It's a third-person stealth adventure game set in the 14th century Kingdom of France during the Black Plague outbreak and the Inquisition. And this thing has some amazing storytelling and some great characters that I will continue to love and will think, when is Amicia, when is she going to come back in a part 2? I would not, when I started playing this game, I thought there's no way that there's ever going to be a connection for me to expect something to be a franchise. But I got to say, French developer Asobo Studios has made an amazing game with characters so endearing that I want more.
Yeah,
I want more, Scott. This is I got it on the Xbox One. It was on sale for $35, I believe.
It's not bad.
If it was a live subscriber. This game came out this year on May 14th, 2019, so it's a fairly new game. So it does definitely qualify for the Game of the Year 2019 that we play every year, our little game that we do. But I'm going to describe some of the things, but I'm going to try to be careful because there are spoilers in this game because it is mostly a story-driven game, just like God of War was last year, one of my favorite games. This story also has a hero character who is bringing along a small kid. In this case, Amicia's little brother Hugo. They are on a trek to avoid rat-filled streets and alleys full of rats, and also trying to avoid inquisitors. Because they're curious, right?
This
That's
video,
what inquisitors do.
The video makes
Excuse
it look
me.
Like, is the video? Hold on a second. The video looks like a girl. Is it?
Yes, it is a girl. You play as a girl, Amicia.
Oh, okay.
And,
I had it confused here. I thought the brother was the other guy or something or whatever.
No, the brother is Hugo.
Okay.
If you're watching the footage that I put in the show notes, that's actually me playing with no commentary from the chapter 1. When everything is still fairly happy, things take a turn, of course. Anytime you put a story called A Plague Tale and then put it in, 14th century Kingdom of France, things are going to go bad real quick. And they do. Amicia and her family are a well-to-do. They're the lords of the area. The lords. But on their trip, they run into a lot of not lords and plague victims.
Do they sing, "We'll never be royals"?
We'll never be royals. No, they do not.
It's not that kind of lord, then. Okay.
They do not. No, not at all. So I will give you. I'm trying to be very careful not to spoiling the story because it is such an amazing story. I actually had Audra, my significant other. She sat down with me last night, and I said, "Okay, look, I don't usually make you do this, but I request that you sit down for 15 minutes and watch this game with me." So she did. And she stayed around for 30 minutes. She enjoyed it, and she actually yelled a couple of times at the game. And I'm like, "Hey, I'm driving," but she yelled at the game a couple of times. So I know it was striking an emotional chord. But I gotta say the developers who did this French developer Asobo, they did some other things too. But this was the first time I really did a deep dive on any of their games, and they have their own game engine. And they've distributed this to the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and Windows. I don't think there's a Switch game version of it yet.
It's pretty.
But it's amazingly pretty. The art is inspired by a French painter during the 15th century, which is a little bit later on. But they just really took the love of where they live, because I did a little research behind the scenes as well, and Asobo actually went out on the streets of where their studio is at, and because some of those buildings, a good bit of those buildings were, made during the 14th century, the time period they're looking at, so they're able to go out and get this real look, just very authentic. You just really feel there, and I got to say, like I said, it is my game of the year so far, hands down. But
wow.
Like I said, I'm a sucker. And at first I was like, I don't know. I was kind of like, I was a little disappointed when I first started because it's a stealth game. And they really focus on that in the beginning. You really have to do a lot of stealthing. If you like that, great. If you don't, great. You're gonna have a little bit of time in the beginning, but it loosens up later on because Amicia, as she grows as a character, she also grows as a intimidating figure to be dealt with. So she continues to grow, and she uses a sling, like, in which she can put rocks in and sling at guards or rats or whatever you want to strike or hit or distract. And she's able to improve that as she goes along.
Is she fighting like plague victims or zombies or what the hell?
Absolutely. She's like, oh, you're sick? Here, knock to the head. Knock to the... No, it's mostly it's mostly her against the Inquisitors and the rats. And the rats are just these mobs of rats. So you don't really deal with like one or two rats. It's just this almost ocean of rats, and it's very creepy because this game is supposed to be set, like I said, during the 14th century France, during the plague, and it's like you feel dirty. Everything feels dirty and gross, but it's supposed to, right? It's supposed to feel like everything is dirty and filthy and just overrun with filth.
Yeah, that's the time they lived in, man. That was it.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. So it's very effective with that. It's also very effective with some of the puzzle solving that you have to do to get through certain areas. As most stealth games are, they're kind of also puzzlers because you have to go, okay, how am I going to get around this sucker? And so that's part of it. You get to use a lot with fire. There's a lot of fire components that allow you to do. Once again, don't want to get into too much of the story, so as far as I'm going to go. Because
it's your game of the year. You can't give away the game of the year.
I don't want to give away the game of the year, but I will tell you this: it's an amazing game. If you have not played a Plague Tale: Innocence, you gotta go get it. Look at the reviews: 9 out of 10, 97% like this. Even Metacritic gave it an 81. What a bunch of jerks! What do they know? Stupid Metacritic.
Well, they don't know. Let's see here. I'm just looking. It's on Steam.
Yes,
and it's currently enjoying a very positive review. Oh, Sean Bean's in this. You didn't say Sean Bean was in this.
Sean Bean is in this? When do I run into Sean Bean?
It says A Plague's Tale: Innocence, Sean Bean, the little boy lost. Is this DLC or something? Maybe.
There is some DLC. I'm not sure about that though. That's interesting. I would love to. Yeah, maybe so. And maybe he's one of the characters, because as you go along, you find yourself more and more isolated from adults and more around a youthful rebellion. So you start picking up other characters as you go along who help you with your quest. And your quest is to get your brother, who you're estranged from, because he has some mysterious illness that they vaguely call something. And I don't want to get too far into that, but that's like the inciting incident that gets you out of the hometown, because it's a hero's journey, right? So you got to get away from home. And you got to go on a journey.
I'm gonna look it up real quick. I think
it's a really well told story.
I may own this. Hold on.
Oh my gosh! If you own this, you gotta play it. It is so good.
Plague Tale.
A Plague Tale. Innocence.
It would appear.
Oh, please say you have it.
Yeah, I have it. I haven't installed it yet. I'll play it though. I'll totally play it.
Dude, you need to check this out. Now, I'll tell you.
I have it on Steam.
In the beginning, I wasn't sure if I liked it, but about 2 hours in, I'm like, this game, it's got me. I'm hooked.
All right. A Plague Tale: Innocence, available now. Xbox One, PC, PlayStation 4. Check it out, and don't be too late, whatever that means.
Don't be too late.
And I don't think you spoiled anything today.
I hope not. Like I said, fighting the rats is so satisfying because it's such a different... It's such a different take on the mob kind of thing that you have to do with these guys, and it's just a lot of fun. And the rats are so creepy, and it's just like this rat noise. It's like
everyone loves the rats.
They're like, they're like all up on you, and you're like, sometimes you have to get like really close to them, and if you step just 1 inch too close, Other thing too, there's very little HUD information. There's little to none, so it's very immersive. You can choose to not have any type of indications of, how many rocks you have or what you have.
So when you say HUD, you mean heads-up display, not housing.
Right. Not the housing market.
Housing development. Was it HUD? A housing. Hold on.
Under development. Housing under development.
No. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Homes up, mugs. So okay. What was I saying? I forgot what I was saying.
I don't know. Sorry, my bad.
Oh, that's okay. But yeah. So I love all the gaming mechanics. It's like I said, at first you feel so underpowered, and about halfway through, it feels so good to turn the tide a little bit from just being this, because the character Amicia from the get-go is just some kid, 15-year-old kid. By the way, the voice acting is fantastic. Great voice acting.
All right.
Love the people.
I'm gonna check it out. You've convinced me. You convinced me.
You gotta play it.
All right, I'm in. Let me tell you about my next game. Yeah, I'm not gonna recommend it. I'm gonna tell you to sort of avoid it. It's a game called Don't Stand Out. Now, look, you and I played Super Animal Royale. Remember that? We played it on stream.
Yes, that was fun.
Had a great time. Loved it. I think that's a very fun game. And it's actually kind of my battle royale of choice at the moment. Along came this other one that I was checking out called Don't Stand Out. And I liked the look of it because it was this very voxel-looking 3D but low-res sort of top-down take that's not Minecraft, but I don't know, Zelda-like in some ways.
It definitely is. It looks like if you took Minecraft and made it a voxel, just like you said, because that's what it is.
Yep.
Right.
And the chat room right now is seeing the reason I hate it.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now as well. And what is all of that flipping about?
Okay, so here's my chief problem. I actually think the game is okay and has decent, cool mechanics and is fun to play as a battle royale top-down, shooter thing. But they've decided, for I don't know what reason, to put a jump thing into this, which is basically a flip, that is just the most stupid, over-the-top, ridiculous Twitch gameplay kind of way of playing a game, and it feels like that's all anyone does.
It's a big flip too. I mean, it's a Super Mario double jump flip, right?
Yeah. Imagine, how people used to complain about bunny hopping and like Counter-Strike and Unreal Tournament and stuff like that. Imagine that basically just 1,000 times worse in a battle royale game. It really sucks.
I can hear this guy going woo woo every time he jumps.
I don't like it. I think the game would be great if you could just run around and shoot stuff and play like you're supposed to. Instead, this jump mechanic makes me want to pull my face off and eat it.
We say that, and I haven't played this, and I certainly get your gripe because it looks like, well, what's the point of even having a walk if you're going to have that? But I remember thinking the same thing when I first started playing Quake and I first started understanding rocket jumps.
Yeah.
It's like, this is so stupid. Why would you do anything other than rocket jump? You're going to lose a little bit of health, but man, you can really, if you know where the health is, you can just rocket jump all day long. And that was always so frustrating for new players who would come in and you're fighting somebody who is a master at rocket jumping because it's ridiculously unfair.
I think that's actually a fair comparison. And I would say that frustration is double here.
Right.
And it's not that it's hard to do. Anyone can do it. In fact, it's the only way you can jump. So it's not like there's other ways to jump or more subtle ways to jump. This flip thing you're seeing is how everybody moves in the game. And it just is overwhelmingly bad as a mechanic. The rest of the game suffers as a result. I think it would be okay without it. And so normally I only talk about games that I've played this week that I would recommend. This is a case where I cannot recommend this, but hopefully somebody somewhere who works on this small team will hear it and go, oh, you know what? Yeah, we should probably get rid of that. I mean, there's no way I'm the first one.
How about just a no jump, just mode? I mean, that would just be easy enough, right?
Someone's going to call it. Here's what's going to happen. Someone's going to email or call in and go, you guys missed the point. The whole point of this is the jump. That's the whole game.
Right.
Is this
That's why it's called Don't Stand Out.
Yeah.
Just jump.
Just
jump.
They should have called it Just Jump and had Diamond Dave smiling on the front.
Jump. Right.
But they didn't, and it's not good, and it bums me out because it's precious, spent resources on development and design that were for naught, in my opinion, until they get rid of that dumb mechanic. So for now, I still say the granddaddy and best playing super or battle royale game for a top-down isometric view, which is just think is a whole different category of battle royale. It still belongs to Super Animal Royale, which I would play in a heartbeat. That game's really good.
Right.
And then real quick before we go back to your second game, I want to mention that I have been playing Heroes of the Storm more than ever for some reason. And they did a thing that I think is great. Some people don't. Some people disagree with me. I'm going to tell them that they were boring and lame. They added a 10% speed boost to everybody in the game. Just a flat 10% speed boost across the board.
Across the board.
Which doesn't sound like a lot, but you get in and you play it and you immediately feel the difference, and it feels really, really, really good. That game was already good. I've loved it for years. I'm bummed about the fact that Blizzard was so late to the game that they really never cracked the top, the top spot when it comes to MOBAs, but they still hang in there at number 3. And I think it's the best. I think it's the best MOBA, just straight up. I know people disagree with me. I even spent some time last week playing Dota 2. I played some League of Legends games. I was reminded in both cases how much I dislike those games. And part of the reason I dislike them so much is because Heroes brought some stuff to the table that eliminated a lot of what frustrated me about those games. And some would say, well, you're missing the game then. Whatever. Last hit and shops and all that. You can bite me. I hate that stuff. This game gets rid of that and goes different places. This is nothing new. I used to have a show that was full-time talking about Heroes, so people have heard me talk ad nauseum about it. But this 10% increase, and the fact that, by the way, queue times for getting in games are nothing. Like, there are people playing that game in numbers where all you got to do is log in, hit quick match, and you're in. Like, you're in a game, and they're competitive, and I'm winning more than I'm losing, and just having a great time. So just wanted to throw that out there. All right, Brian, tell me about Rooms, the Toymaker's Mansion.
Rooms, the Toymaker's Mansion. Now, you may think to yourself, haven't I played that puzzle game that does a little sliding platform puzzle thing before? You may have. The game has been out officially, like in PC form and on other places as well for a while. But just recently, this past month, it's come to mobile. So it's on the iOS and the Android devices. And I like me a good slider puzzle game, man.
I hate them. I hate them.
I like to slide stuff around. Well, you may actually like this one. It's not too bad. It's not like it's only like 10% slider. Now, you do slide, but there's a lot more to it than that. When you're trying to get when you're trying to slide a piece, because you'll have a board in each. Okay, so you start in a mansion and you have doors you can go into. It increasingly, it gets more difficult as you go along, and you'll get a grid that you have to slide. Now, it's not always square. Sometimes it's rectangular. Sometimes it's a little bit taller. So it's a little bit. You got different. They have a little bit of ability to make really good levels. And so when you get in there, you slide things, but it's a little more complicated than that, because sometimes you can be in a room, a slider piece, because you're playing this character. I think her name is Anna. Is that right? It sounds right, but I don't want to get it wrong. Let's see if it says in my description here. Anne is her name. I was close. So you start out as Anne, and you're trying to get to a exit door, typically.
Trying to get to the Green Gables.
You're trying to get to the Anne of the Green Gables.
Gotcha.
So what you do is you ride inside the slider piece. So when you put your character inside the slider piece, you press a direction, and then she goes in that direction. Now, sometimes you'll need to get to another piece, and you can use a ladder. Sometimes not. Sometimes you could use a telephone that teleports you. What is this magic? It's a lot of fun. Because you can teleport like with telephones sometimes, and it gives you the ability to get to different areas where you can slide the rooms to different places. Is
that like the Matrix with the telephone? You get to
yeah, absolutely, okay. Just like the Matrix.
Okay, great.
They drop a little one of those little crawly worms right in your belly button, and she's like, they're not good. and you do that, but there's also like there's rooms with with wardrobes that you can click, and it'll switch with another piece. It'll close up a curtain, and it'll switch with another piece, and you just have to really think really hard, because the idea here is, of course, if you do it in the least amount of moves, you get the greatest reward, which is of course just you finishing the room and everybody going, yay, you did good. You got 3 stars instead of the 2. You're a genius.
Yeah.
And that's how this game makes you feel. It makes you feel like you're a genius if you get it right.
By the way, would you disagree with me if I said that it's time for a movie teaser to come out that is a teaser for a reboot of the Matrix series? And I don't mean a new movie with new people. I mean suddenly very famous and popular John Wick star Keanu Reeves is an older Neo, and older Neo's got stuff to deal with, and boom, here's your new Matrix movies. I would get really excited about it, even though those last 2 sequels were terrible, and I just wanted to throw it out there that Scott Johnson officially would be into the idea of the continuing story of Neo in the world of the Matrix. There you go. That's all I
think it's a great idea, especially with where VR is at right now in our headspace in that technology. I think it would be a lot of fun.
Plus, people in the chat are saying, "Don't you remember he died?" No, I know he did. That's how you. But this is the Matrix. You can do whatever the frick you want.
He didn't really die. You're in the Matrix.
Yeah, tell me that.
There's so many universes of Matrixes. Anyway, yeah, see, it happens over and over again, too.
That's like saying Superman died. Oh, did he really? Right. Oh, well, he'll never come back, will he? Come on.
Will he? So I'm playing Rooms, the Toymaker's Mansion. By the way, this game is super... it's just got these great, rich color palettes. The rooms are very attractive to look at. And the best part of this game, to me, is this music. This music that I can't quite put my finger on. It's like a mix between Ghostbusters, some of the moodier Ghostbuster stuff, not like who are you gonna call, not that kind of stuff. No, the moodier kind of stuff, and also like a Harry Potter kind of thing. It's got some amazing music. This makes you just want to keep playing the game, even if you're getting frustrated with the puzzle. You're like, well, at least I got this fantastic music to listen to.
Yeah, but it looks good. I'd like the look of it. It has a nice.
I think I may have got you on the wrong track by saying it was a slider puzzle, because it is a little bit of a slider puzzle, but there's a lot more to it than that.
There are 3 things in this world I don't like or trust.
Right.
Escort missions.
Right.
Tower defense and slider puzzles.
Right, slider puzzles. This is one of the better slider puzzles.
But it doesn't. It's not. It's exactly right. It's not exactly the same as you're just trying to make a picture or whatever. Those frustrate me. This has got mechanics that are. Way more.
And you actually can get it, and it plays with some of the slider elements, because it does. There's if you click on the lantern, this kind of assisting you during your little quest, it will show you where the pieces should form, like the shape that it should be when you end. It doesn't tell you exactly where the pieces are supposed to be, but there's different clues to that. Like you can look in the background of certain rooms of the room, and it will kind of give you an idea of where you kind of a little clue. I never got stuck. I never got stuck one time. I felt challenged, but I always found a way.
Has a nice turn of the century industrial revolution clockwork kind of quality to it.
Yes, the clockwork is the best way to describe it.
Yeah, I like that.
It's the Toymaker. The story is pretty interesting. It's not real deep. But it's the Toymaker's Mansion is this version, because there's other versions of Rooms. By the way, good luck finding this game on the app stores. I don't even know how I eventually found it again. It was recommended at one point in time in my app store, but then when I went to go back and download it for the iPad, I couldn't find it in the store anywhere for the iOS.
Oh, weird.
And
usually
I was
what I do is just go
to
your recent purchase stuff, and it'll just show up in there.
That's what I did. Yeah. That's what I had to do. Yeah, because I couldn't find it anywhere in the store.
Does it play? Does it maybe it just scales like a phone game or something?
That's what I was curious about, because I was like, well, maybe it only does iPhone only. So I went to that section, but it didn't. And then I even went back to my phone before I went to the purchase history, because I was like, well, I know it's in the App Store. Let me look. Yeah. And I looked in the App Store on my phone. Yeah. It wasn't there either. I had to go to my purchase history to find it.
Well, there
it was a couple of dollars. I think it was like $3.99. Something like that.
Never know what you're going to get. That's what I always say.
You never know what you're going to get, Brian.
You never know. All right. Well, nice recommendations today. Good games all around.
Both great. I had a great games this week. Oh, yeah. Just to mention.
Yeah.
Speaking of terrible games, I was curious, because I was looking at genres, because I was like, oh, I wonder if this is setting some of my games are setting, a precedent for certain genres, like really stand out. And one of the genres that really stood out for hardcore gaming was Dark Souls.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, I remember it being hard, but it wasn't as brutal as I remember. And so I looked at my Steam library, and sure enough, I had a copy of the remastered edition. And I was like, let me load it up. Yeah, it's just as brutal.
No, these Souls games will get you right in the hooter, dude. They're rough.
Yeah.
I don't play them.
I remember.
I don't like them. They're too deliberate and too much blocking on time and parry or you're dead. And then you die and you got to go back to some save point that's 300 billion miles away. F that. Not into it. Not my kind of speed these days. I respect them and I appreciate them, and I really respect players who are good at them. It's just not for me. It just isn't for me. I've tried.
I played for a while. I was like, oof.
Yeah, it's a cool thing, and I'm glad it exists. And at a different time in my life, when I was building PCs, that would have been the time I would also play a Souls game.
Yes.
And you know why? Because my brain was more suited to meticulous, careful, if something fails, fine, fix it, tweak it, like that brain activity was high and hot and heavy in my 20s, and I was ready to roll. So if those games would have been there, I would have played those games. Right. I got to a place where I no longer want to do any of that tinkering, not nearly as much. Like, you're still a tinkerer at heart. You always have been.
Oh, I'm still a tinkerer.
Yeah.
I like to tinker all day long.
I wish I was more of a tinker like you. But instead, these days, I'm like, whatever the thing is, I just need it to work, and now I need to do the fast things on it. Like, the computer just needs to work. Okay, good. Does it have a good warranty? Great, because that's more important to me than fixing it. And now I can just get stuff done. And it's weird because I kind of remember that transition in my head, like from where I wanted to be a tweaker to this.
Yeah.
Wait, tweakers are like drug. They're like.
Yeah, that's that. I knew what you mean though. Yeah, you're just like a tweaker.
If you're a tweaker, though, what do you take? What is that? The meth? You do the meth?
Yeah. I think you can tweak pretty much anything, right? Isn't that just like a generalized
I don't know
drug term?
I thought it was specific to like meth use. Maybe I'm wrong. I may have that wrong. Someone in the chat will know.
I thought that's called trying to lose your teeth.
We have a lot. We have a lot of heavy drug users in the chat. They can answer.
Yeah, no. Hey, chat room, if you can put your heroin down for just 1 minute.
Yep.
And help us out a little bit.
They don't call him. They don't call him Rusty Nails for nothing. Anyway, let's do. Oh, you know what time it is? It's time for this.
It's a me, Mario.
Let's get to the deal here, where we're gonna try to guess each other's games. We have a little sound clip. Brian captured one. I captured one. We'll play them in order. Neither of us knows who brought what to the table, so we don't know what we're guessing at, but we're going to give it a shot. Now, normally I start, so I'm going to start. This might be obvious, but it's one of my favorite indie titles ever, and it isn't that old. So I'm hoping that you'll glom onto this and figure it out. I will give you the hint that it was on all platforms, including mobile. I think. Oh, was it on mobile? I'm pretty sure it was on mobile. If it wasn't, it should have been. But it was also excellent on consoles, PC, and everywhere else. And I think it was one guy who did it.
One guy.
But I loved it. And so here's a taste of that. See if you can guess what it is.
Thomas decided to start listing his observations for posterity. 1. The whole alone thing. 2. Portals.
I mean, you pretty much said the whole title of the game here, right?
I know, I kind of did. It kind of did. Did you catch that part about his name and how...
yeah, it's like, this week could be a game about Thomas, and he was alone. What can it be? Oh, no. That's okay, because now I feel better because I have a game. My game is pretty much the same, and it mentions the titular character about 20 seconds in. So if you don't get it before then, you should probably have it pretty quick.
All right, well, I'm going to play yours now. In the chat room, just for those who may have missed it, that was Thomas Was Alone, and it's great, and you should play it. It's one of the most emotional narratives I've ever played in a video game.
Love it.
And it's about, like, this hardly any pixel character. It's so good. So freaking good. All right, Brian, here we go. I'm playing yours. You ready?
Do it.
Here goes.
What's a man got to do to get that kind of attention from you?
It's hard to say exactly. But you seem to be doing fine.
Well, great. Though truth is, it ain't me that wants you.
Oh?
No, Miss Jacqueline Natla does. From Natla Technologies. You know, creator of all things bright and beautiful.
Seal it, Larson.
Ma'am.
Feast your eyes on this, Lara. How does that make your wallet rumble?
I'm sorry. I only play for sport.
Then you'll like a big park. Peru. Vast mountain ranges to cover. Sheer walls of ice. Rocky crags, savage winds. And there's this little trinket. An age-old artifact of mystical powers buried in the unfound tomb of Qualapec. That's my interest. You can
Surely
leave
you
tomorrow.
must have it by
Are you
now.
busy tomorrow?
Okay, well, it sounds like a Lara Croft game.
Absolutely. And with that horrible dialogue, I mean, yeah, Lara Croft dialogue has never been, fantastic. But man, I didn't realize how bad 1996.
Oh, okay. Well, let me pick the game
was.
then. Was this 96? So that would have been the first one.
That's the first one, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 1996, the first Tomb Raider. That's the first little bit of dialogue that we get to meet Lara Croft in. So Lara, Lana.
Tomb Raider 1. I played that game. My daughter, who, 96, so she would have been 2 years old.
Right.
She would play, or we would play that game, or I would play that game, and she would watch me play it, and she'd say, for a long time, she'd say, Daddy, can we play the game with the lady? Can we play the scary game with the lady in it? That's what she called it. The scary game with the lady in it is one of my favorite memories of early fatherhood. And now she's got one that'll be 2 years in 2 years.
No,
anyway.
ain't that sweet.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet. Nice pick. And I don't remember the dialogue being that shitty. That's terrible.
I don't either. I'm like, man, I must have been pressing the skip this intro button really hard.
Yeah, that's really, really bad. Really bad.
Right.
But for its time, I suppose that stuff was okay. I mean, video game dialogue in the 90s was atrocious across the board.
Right.
They were not.
You weren't here for the dialogue. We were in the early days of narration for a story.
Yeah. Very rough early days. But now we're in AAA territory now. Now it's all amazing, and we have incredibly talented actors pounding out the great dialogue. But back then, not so much. Not so good. It's okay though. I've learned to live with it. Hey, check this out. Time for us to read an email from a listener who wrote in. His name is Justin. He's from Arkansas. Does that bump up against you? No, it doesn't. It bumps up against Mississippi. That's where I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I got my
west
geography. He wrote in to the Boop Show. Or sorry, the address is boopshow@gmail.com. Boopshow@gmail.com. And he says this: Scott and Brian, we are slowly moving forward to an all-digital future with games. With the rise of game streaming just hitting its stride this year, when do you think games will cease to be on physical media? Most people talk within 10 to 15 years. I say unless data caps are removed, it could be closer to 20 or 30. Curious about your thoughts. Did we do this email?
No, that was the one you had put in there before. That's what I was.
Oh, yeah, that one I figured out was old, but this one's ringing a bell too. Maybe it's because I read it. I always read these before, so when I read them again, I'm like, wait, did I read this? But then I realized, no, I just read this earlier today.
No.
Anyway, Justin from Arkansas. Have we done this one before? Chat room saying. Now they're wondering. Maybe I am remembering doing it before, but I wanted.
Well, we've had it. We actually have not done this particular one, but we have had this question before.
Right, and we also had this. There was a quickfire question on, or not quickfire, a TMS question on the Friday thing we do on TMS. And it was a lot like this. So I think maybe this is just going around. But anyway, here's the deal. Yes, and I think it'll be sooner. It's for me. We're already there. It's all digital for me. I don't buy physical media except for this one exception. I will buy occasional Switch discs or cartridges, but even then I try to go digital when I can. Generally, though, like PC, never a disc. Consoles, I never buy a disc, ever, for those things. It's all digital all the time, every time. That's music, movies, TV, everything now, for me, is digital. So if I can do it 100%, I guarantee you we'll be we're at least getting close to a place where everybody else is going to start doing the same thing.
This will, if not already, this next generation of consoles, if not already, this will be the last generation that will have physical media, if you ask me.
Well, the next one we know will, because they've said they're going to have physical media.
Right. Now, not everybody's said fully though, have they?
Well, Microsoft Sony has, didn't they? Someone's described or spec'd out their optical drive, and I don't remember who it was.
Right. So like I said, I think I'm not sure everybody will do it this next generation, but they most likely will. But I would say that's probably going to be the last generation. So
yeah, if we're not already in it, we're about to be in the last wave of that, and
we're in the end game now, Scott.
Yeah, I think on the PC side it already happened. Consoles usually follow what PCs do anyway. So, and not to say I am not saying that I'm in the majority. I don't know where I'm at with what I do. I'm probably in some sort of selective minority.
You're a little ahead of the curve. I don't think you're not there by yourself, certainly, because there's still. I'm just now where I live, and I live in a pretty rural area. Just now getting to the speeds that allow me to actually use that as a viable alternative to physical media.
Right.
And if I'm getting there where I'm at,
yeah,
it can't be much longer for the rest of most of the country is there.
Yeah, he lives in the poo-poo South. So
yeah, I live in the beautiful South. However, where I live at is a little bit.
We're just not super wired down there. That's all.
Right.
Anyway,
we got a lot of crocodiles to contend with.
And this doesn't
a lot of crocodiles biting the internet line.
This doesn't even get to the point about his point about caps. Data caps are a real thing. They still are a real thing for a lot of people. The only reason it's not at the moment for me is I'm paying extra to not have one, and that sucks. I can't stand that I'm paying extra for that. So I don't even have the kind of internet that I would really want. Like Google Fiber stopped like 5 blocks north of me, and are supposed to still pick it up and keep going, but they stopped. And they stopped everywhere, so it's not just here, but they stopped right before they came into our zone. That would have been great because that's not only inexpensive in general, but it's, gigabit up and down for a low price with no data caps. That would be wonderful. Right now I'm paying a very high price for a gigabit on cable for too much money. It's ridiculously priced. I can justify it for business reasons, but everyone's experience is going to vary. When that becomes more common and ubiquitous for people to just have great internet at extremely affordable prices, and we all live like South Koreans or the Swedes, then come talk to me, because I think that'll push digital forward.
It doesn't have to be 100%, because once we reach a tipping point where it only makes financial sense for these businesses to go, it's not worth making a disc anymore.
Yeah.
That's coming fast.
Yeah, it's coming, I think. Thanks for the email, Justin, who we probably read this before, because it's really, I'm having deja vu bad on this one.
I don't think I've seen this particular email, but
even if not, it's an evergreen thing to talk about.
Right. It's a good question.
Totally fine. All right. That's going to do it there. And if you want to send your own emails in, boopshow@gmail.com. That's going to do it for the show as well. We are at frogpants.com/BOOP. You might be familiar with it. It's our website, and it's easy to go there and find all you need. BOOP at frogpants.com. That's the Boop Show. Boopshow@gmail.com, as I mentioned. We're on Twitter at Boop Show. You can also find this show on the Tweeter and wherever podcasts are available. Like if you just are looking for them, they're on iTunes. We're on Pocket Casts and Downcast and what are all the other ones? I can't think of them. All the players, all the stuff, all the directories. We're in all the places.
We're everywhere. We're in your ears.
That's right. So tell your friends. I guess you're already listening to us, so you already know this, but maybe a few of you don't. I don't know. If you want to leave us voicemails, you can. 801-471-0462. If you stick around the show, we are going to give away a couple of games today. Not a ton, but a few. So stick around for that. We got a big new batch of fresh ones from Jim Jensen, listener of the show. Ida Bloke in the chat room, or I beat a bloke.
I beat a bloke. Yeah. I beat a bloke, baby.
Is he in there today? He might be.
I don't see him.
Might be. Not sure.
Maybe.
Anyway, if you want some of that action, stick around. We'll give you some free games. Some codes to Steam. That's right. All right. That is going to do it for today's show. Brian, you have any final wonderful thoughts to share with us before we go?
Oh, my gosh. What am I going to play next week? I don't know. I got a pretty sweet deal from Best Buy. $15 bought me 3 months of Xbox Live Ultimate.
Oh, that's pretty good.
No, not Live. Game Pass Ultimate.
Game Pass Ultimate. There you go.
Yeah.
That's all you're going to want in the future. That's going to be the future subscription for them.
Yep.
Not even future. It's the thing now, but that's what everyone's going to get. Anyway, that's going to do it for us. Thank you all for listening. We'll be back next week with a brand new show. We'll see you then. This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com.
I don't like steam.
Yeah.
Boop.
Yeah.
All right.
Let me save this.
And I didn't